Okay, so right now I'm going to turn this down here. Anyway, right now I'm kind of getting some speed, as you can see. I'm going to kind of boost it. You can see how quick I can go. I was about 30, I'm about 60. Probably going to get pulled over, but this car has some muscle. There's no doubt about it. Anybody that says a electric car is gutless, it has no bones, this thing is just, you know, no good, it's a grandma car, they have no idea what they're talking about. This vehicle has more cojones in it than most vehicles do. It really does. Unbelievable. That's why it makes it so fun to drive. I remember me and my wife getting in the first time, and I remember hitting the gas pedal. I was just in D mode, no eco, hit it. I remember it gave me whiplash, it kind of threw me back in the seat. You can take a corner, and if you hit the corner too fast and you just punch it, you'll peel out. And it's amazing how much power this thing has. Now, the whole objective is not to run it that way. The real objective is to try to run it economically. You know, it's about saving money. It's about saving the environment. It's about not paying, you know, $3 a gallon at the local gas pump, which you'll never have to do. But anyway, what I wanted to do with the second part of the video is I kind of wanted to cue in on this little game here, right here. Now, if you notice, there's a one full kind of a drive around a little bit. And as the more you drive around, the better you do, more economically you drive. Right now, I'm driving in D mode and eco. I'm going to go back down to B mode, more braking mode. It slows down a lot more, and eco mode. And as you can see, I almost got a full tree. I'm at a stop sign. I'm going up this big, huge hill. Now, this hill is interesting. If you want to grow trees, it's kind of funny, but as you go up the hill, it'll take a lot of power bars to go up it. So you'll see my battery, I'm at a 52% right now, and as I go up it, you'll see my battery quickly being sucked, because the more battery bars, after you get up about 3, 4, 5 power bars, these are the white bars right here, the more it sucks from the battery. So your battery really takes a beating. So when you're on the freeway, you usually want to keep it between 2 and 3 power bars. You don't want to go above that. So it's actually recommended on the internet, people who drive these things, that you want to go 64 miles an hour and keep it on cruise control. I know that kind of seems slow, and you might have to drive in the slow lane, but who cares, you know? You're driving for 3 cents a mile. You know, you can go 90, you can go 75, you can go as fast as you want, but you're going to use a lot more power bars and thus not get the economy you're going to want out of it. So I'm going up this hill. As you see, straight out here, you got a pretty big hill. Big hill. Now I'm sucking, my power's going down. It's at 52 and down at 50. In a couple minutes, maybe a minute I've been talking. And it's going down quite rapidly right now. So, but what's really cool is as we come down the hill, all this lost power that I use going up the hill, I'll be completely restored. Actually, I'll get more power in my battery coming down the hill than I will going up the hill. It's the one vehicle, believe it or not, that you actually gain gas mileage by going downhill. There's not any vehicle out there I don't know of that actually on the market that allows you to do that. So it's kind of interesting. Went down a canyon and I got like 20% more battery by the time I got bottom of the canyon, just running in B mode, because the whole time it went down using the kinetic energy, it repowered the battery. So as I'm making my way up here, as you see, I'm at 48, I was at 52, I've used 4% of my battery. It's just sucking it, right? But it's pretty steep, going uphill. Anyway, I'll only go a little bit further here up on top of this hill, and I'll kind of show you, I don't know, I call it the power of the Nissan Leaf, which is really cool. I mean, you know, I guess technically if this car was completely dead, you could have a friend with this truck hook up to the front of it. There's a thing, little tab you open up, there's a hook you kind of screw in, and you can hook up a tow rope, and he can actually tow you. And you know, you can keep it in B mode, and he can actually recharge your battery by just simply having him tow you around in B mode and using the kinetic energy to recharge the battery. So here I am, I turn around. As you can see, I'm going to be going straight downhill, right? So I'm at 47% battery, okay? Straight downhill, remember that. 47% battery. Gonna go down. I got a little tree. Look, I got one tree. I'm gonna start building my second tree. You'll see how quickly and rapidly I start building the second tree. So I'm gonna get a little power, get a little boost. So when I sit down here, I'm in B mode, eco mode, so I'm in the best possible way. As you see, I hit almost 4 bars, 3 to 4 bars right here. I'm running it, and so I'm rapidly gaining a lot of kinetic energy, regenerating the battery. So as you can see, my battery's still at 47%, right? 47%. And it should go up here, and you'll see a little bit of part of my whoa, hitting some pretty big bumps here, but you'll see up here, you'll see right here that I'll start getting a tree, start getting a base, and get a little bit more speed going down the hill. So I got 4 recharge battery bars, so charging, keeps charging. So up, I'd say I was at 47, now I'm at 48. Yeah, so now I'm actually gaining power. It's like if I'm plugged in somewhere. It's actually recharging my car. So keeps going down. It keeps charging. Now I may not get everything out of it. These hills aren't as steep as, you know, they really, I don't know. If I was going to have something a little bit steeper, I'd probably do a little bit better job, because I'd kind of have to get a little bit power to get through the little level areas. But it's at 48, so I've gained 1%, going down. I think even my miles went up 1. 49, so just went up another one. I'm about halfway down the hill. I'm still you know, running about 2 to 3 bars of regeneration bars. So I have to kind of, but when you're running in B mode, it's always braking aggressively. The battery is obviously using the kinetic energy so you kind of gotta, you kind of slow down a little too much. So you kind of gotta punch it again to kind of get a little bit more energy out of it, get it going. But 49 still. I'm surprised I don't have another little tree growing, not yet. My wife does this. She one night got 5 trees. I was jealous. I had tree envy, but she somehow got 5 trees. Just ran this thing up and down the hill all day long, and I got 5 trees. But you know, when it's not costing you anything to drive it, then you can kind of drive stupid like that. That's the joy of driving a Nissan Leaf, is, you know, it's not costing you anything to drive it. So anyway, came back down that hill. I was at 50, I believe 52 I said, and I'm at 49. Well, I think I was at 50. So I didn't get it all back, but I went up a couple. So kind of shows you how it regenerates. Also, it's really cold outside, and in the cold, like it's 33, it says 32 degrees Fahrenheit here in Utah. So it's cold. So this vehicle really isn't running more optimally. I have the heater on too. Probably should have had that off, but I didn't. But it just does not run. The vehicle does not run very well in the cold. Actually, what happens is a little sign will come up and it'll say the temperature is low, you know. So the vehicle's really intelligent. It'll let you know it's cold. Now, from what I understand, the batteries like to stay our temperature, just like a human. I think, you know, 74 degrees, 76 degrees. They don't want to be over that. They don't want to be under that. So it's so the car, I think Nissan's built in a cooling system in. So I know there's some kind of cooling system, keep the batteries to overheat. And I know there's a heating system that's built into the batteries so they don't get too cold, because as we know, if you know, the batteries will have different through that exposure, it'll hurt the batteries. So I've noticed about 20% less efficiency in the spring. I was averaging like 115 miles on this thing. In the summer, about the same thing. The summer it was about 100. The spring, the fall is about 110. But heck, in the winter, here I am, middle of November, it's cold outside. When I come out here, after it being charged all night long, I get about 85 miles. 90, maybe if I'm lucky, 85, 90 miles. So that's about 10 to 20% less. You know, that's 20 miles less than what I expect. So you got to factor that in, especially if you live in a cold climate, a state that's cold. That's just how the cookie crumbles. You know, I didn't know that when I bought it. I kind of read some things online about that, you know, depending on the weather and everything else. Now you can shut off the air conditioning, you can do that. You run the heat butt warmers right here. You have low, you have high, and that really helps. If you keep the butt warmers on, you hardly even need to use the heater. The butt warmer keeps you nice and warm. Wear a coat. You know, you can keep the heat on just slightly a little bit, no big deal, but that really helps with the economy also. You can even shut this off if you say, hey, I just don't want to use even the display. I didn't even shut it off. I think I hit that. I think shut off. Anyway, I don't know how to shut this thing off. There's this button right here. But anyway, you know, there's ways to save, but most likely the best ways to save, you know, run the stereo. I don't think takes much power. I think what really does take a lot of the power though is your air conditioning. So run that just when you need to. Don't sit and blast it. Although I haven't found it to be that big of a deal, because usually I don't go more than 100 miles the location. So if I want to run the AC and the heat, I run it, because I'm only going 30-40 miles anyway, just commuting. This vehicle is a commuting car. Hey, I'm not making it to Vegas. I'm not going on some, you know, weekend warrior. You know, it's kind of funny because I talk to people and they say, hey, you know, you got a Nissan Leaf. Well, how do you get to California? Or how do you get to, you know, well, come on, people. It's a commuter car, you know. 95% of the time, you're commuting. You're going to school. You're going to work. You're going to the pharmacy. You're going to get some food. You're going to a buddy's house to hang out. This is a commuter car. That's what it's used for. Most people do not weekend warrior. Now, hey, if for those who are weekend warriors and put a lot of miles on cars, I know there's people out there who drive a long way to work. Hey, I highly recommend don't buy a Leaf. It's just not going to work out for you. But for those people who just need to get around, it's the best vehicle you could possibly buy. 3 cents a mile, you really can't kill that. I mean, you can't beat that. It's just, you know, Utah is fairly cheap. I think it's 7-8 cents a kilowatt hour. I know it goes up, it kind of ramps up depending on what it is. But hey, if you lived in California, New York, some of the eastern states where it's like 12, 14, 15, I don't know what it is, per kilowatt hour, it only makes sense to buy a electric car, and they're only going to get better. Rumor has it the 2013 or 2016 is going to have a much better battery. I think, I don't know, read something online. They're trying to get it close to what the Tesla's doing right now, which is around 300 miles per charge. I think the Nissan's trying to get there too. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. It's all rumor. I have no idea. Maybe by the time you watch this video, you'll know.